Sadly, today I've got some somewhat bad news about the Cybertruck, and that is it's probably delayed until 2022. And the reason we're knowing this is because Tesla has actually been sending out emails to some Cybertruck owners, not all of them, that in order to bridge that gap to be shorter between you now and you owning a Tesla, you should lease a current existent Tesla right now, which honestly, a lot of Cybertruck owners reporting that they got that email, I found a little confusing. I mean, for one, there's no agreement here that says that when your lease is up, you can transition directly over to the Cybertruck. Like, if, for example, the Cybertruck is ready for prime time and your vehicle is done, you don't get to just swap out your leased vehicle with the Cybertruck, so you would have to either, I guess, prematurely end your lease or keep the lease going until the Cybertruck is ready. And honestly, because Tesla doesn't let you buy out the car at the end of the lease, I wouldn't really recommend anyone do it anyway. And also, I thought that, Tesla doesn't really have a demand problem. They're all supply constrained. So why are they advertising to people that reserve the Cybertruck that they should lease a vehicle? Because wouldn't that infer that there's some type of demand shortage? I don't think there is. I just think this whole situation is a little bit weird. I find it just a tad bizarre for them to be emailing people, hey, you should lease a Model 3 now or lease a Model Y now, and then hopefully by the time your lease is up, your Cybertruck will be ready for pickup. So perhaps they're only sending these emails out to more recent Cybertruck reservation holders, so not people who reserved super duper early who might be getting theirs in less than the amount of time that you'll be able to lease a vehicle. But in this email, basically Tesla was saying that they expect production for the dual and tri-motor Cybertrucks to start at the end of 2021, but they don't expect deliveries to begin until early 2022. And for the record, yes, this is the first time Tesla has admitted that Cybertrucks will not be ready until 2022 for official deliveries. It's always been somewhat vague. There were times in past earnings calls where Elon said that Cybertruck deliveries could start by the end of 2021, and the website has always said that production would start at the end of 21, and for the rear-wheel drive single-motor Cybertruck, production for that would start at the end of 22. But now this email, of course, is saying that deliveries for that vehicle won't be till 2023. So someone who did reserve a single-motor Cybertruck, maybe they could lease a Model 3 right about now, and the lease would just about be up by the time that the Cybertruck was actually out and production was ready. And honestly, I'm pretty bummed out about this, and I'm not even a reservation holder. I'm just excited to see the Cybertruck get into consumers' hands and see how it ages and all of its features and how practical it can be. I just think it's a cool, exciting vehicle as is. I want to see them driving around on city streets with how bizarre they are looking. And frankly, what I thought the plan originally was going to be was to build up GigaTexas, and construction seems to be going along fairly well. Jeff Roberts still doing a great job keeping us posted on how much of the factory is being worked on, how long they're working, and they're doing a lot of 24-hour shifts now, so they're working fast and they're bringing up a lot of steel. But my thought process was that the Cybertruck would be GigaTexas's main concern when building up the factory and making it operational, whereas now, based on how the factory progress is coming and how Tesla listed GigaTexas in their last earnings report, sounds more like Model Y is going to be the main concern of GigaTexas, and the Cybertruck will come after that. Honestly, I don't know as much as Tesla. I'm no expert here, but I think that's kind of unnecessary. For one, it can quickly create a lot of confusion with the lineup. So Elon and Tesla, and personally me, still think that the GigaTexas factory will be operational and online at some point next year. My guess is around Q3. It's just that the main vehicle that factory will be producing is the Model Y, and I'm sure it's going to be the Model Y with the 4680 cells. Wouldn't really make sense for LG and Tesla to be ramping up the 2170 cells over in Nevada and bringing them all over to Texas. I think they would rather just build the batteries there. And that means that the Model Ys coming out of GigaTexas are going to have way better range, probably be a lot cheaper to build, and have the next generation paint factory that Tesla is currently installing in Giga Berlin. So what do all the assembly lines for the Fremont Model Y do once GigaTexas comes online? Are we just going to have some Model Ys with really good range and next generation paint, but you have to be near Texas to get a hold of that Model Y, and they're also going to be building the old-fashioned style Model Y over at Fremont with the lower range and the worse battery cells? I don't know. There'd have to be some kind of arrangement of some kind. Maybe they build the single-motor Model Ys over in Texas and the dual-motor Model Ys in Fremont or something like that. Perhaps standard range could make a comeback if the standard range is actually like 300 miles, and they can achieve that with the 4680 cells, and then then in time the long-range options will get updated, and just for a weird transition time, the Fremont factory will just be listing Model Ys as dual motor, and the Texas factory will be listing them as standard range. And honestly, I'm not sure if the Cato Road facility is going to be capable of building enough 4680 cells to transition the Model Y over to the next generation batteries by the time that GigaTexas comes online. So it'd be tricky to get both of these factories in sync and have both of them start producing Model Ys with 4680 cells at the same time at different parts of the country. Like, it makes more sense to me that Fremont just focus on ramping Model Y and Texas can start working on the Cybertruck, because there's so many dang people reserving them and they're going to be severely supply constrained when it comes to Cybertruck demand. Easily could be several years before they're actually able to catch up on all the reservations people have. So building up a brand new huge factory and focusing on the most heavily demanded EV of all time, that makes a lot more sense to me, but sounds like that's not what they're doing. Sounds like a lot of the facility they're working on for GigaTexas right now is prioritizing the casting press and the paint shop, and Tesla's investor relation charts are saying the Model Y is under construction, whereas Cybertruck is in development. So basically that means, sure, there could be some Model Ys coming out of GigaTexas by this time next year, but even Tesla themselves is saying not to expect Cybertruck deliveries to take place until 2022, which I'm bummed out about. I was really looking forward to saying Cybertruck coming later this year. You know, all of 2020 I've been saying Cybertruck would deliver next year. Now it sounds like all of 2021 I'm going to be saying Cybertrucks will deliver next year. Obviously, I'm hoping for a miracle of some kind. I'm hoping GigaTexas can just breeze on by and construction can go great and they can become operational sooner than we think, and Cybertrucks can actually start hitting the streets ahead of schedule. That would be amazing, but this is what Tesla is saying. This is coming from the company themselves, and personally, if I were you, I wouldn't lease a vehicle. That's a lot of money to spend on something you don't even own when you're done with it, and I feel like the people who reserved a Cybertruck, and that was their first time reserving any Tesla, probably aren't going to get a lot of the Cybertruck practicality out of a Model 3 and Model Y. Basically, it's a very expensive waiting vehicle of like, well, this is the car I drive before I get the real car, so I wouldn't do it personally, but you guys do you. I mean, the Model 3 and Model Y are amazing vehicles, no docking them there. It's just they're no Cybertruck, and if you're in love with the Cybertruck, most of its perks can't really be found in the 3 and Y. Otherwise, you could just buy a 3 or Y now. Hopefully, none of these leases convince people to back out of their Cybertruck order, which I honestly see as a possibility here. But what do you guys think of the Cybertruck delivery dates getting pushed and GigaTexas focusing on Model Y primarily? Feel free to let me know. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have an excellent rest of your day. Take care.